What up, Etheria restarters? Today, this is going to be my free to play. Free to play progression guide all the way up through level 35, and also at the same time just sort of figuring out a rundown of what my free to play account looks like as of this current moment, because me personally, I think Big Boom 123 has been popping off very nicely for the last 5 days, right? We have not missed a single check-in, no executive account managers, no nothing, all me, very reminiscent of my RTA days, right? So let's just go ahead and take a look at what your account should look like, minus the units, right? Minus units, because the units are like RNG, right? What your free-to-play account should look like as of this day, assuming you max refresh. And I've said it once, I've said it again, max refresh is the way to go, guys. It is absolutely worth it to max refresh, especially in the early game when you want to get to level 45 as fast as possible. So I'm just gonna go in this with this assumption. So right now, you should be clearing Fabian if you have not gotten a good Twilight Knight or Black Flag set. These two, they have been the fundamental core for every single one of my DPS, sustain, and support for every single unit. Do not, me personally, I don't think Whitney is going to be worth the farm, so I simply got it for the first time clears, as well as clearing out the this hyperlink charter, and I just left. Most of my stamina when I was farming for shells, it was majority dumped into Fabian, right? Because these two, they are very good sets. You know, Black Flag, you get this up to I believe this is 16% action value when you awaken this, and then B Bubbin, it has a 50% defense reduction, which is just very nice overall, right? So that is gonna be there for Green Pursuit. I have farmed Green Pursuit, I believe, for a very long time, the moment I could consistently clear Nightmare. I believe up until level 28-ish. When do you unlock the GP? Alright, essentially, I was farming shells extensively until you got into the final chapter of the story, in which you would then clear your final chapter, right? This is your main chapter, absolute cinema quest. I wish I could show you guys the footage. Don't want to spoil it. It was an absolute cinema quest. In case you guys haven't seen, this was one of the thumbnails that I yoinked out from one of the story questions. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Absolute cinema quest. It was legitimately an absolute sim. Not because you're giantess, but it was a very nice little final chapter. So whilst you can actually clear the story quest at this point, I personally think it's fine to farm for Animus EXP, because this is technically the highest efficiency, and I would say this is good for your account if you are not able to do Hell Tree for your GP, right? Because we are always gonna be looking at efficiency, right? What is the most efficient source of your stamina at any point of time, right? If you could, for example, farm like Hell 2 or Hell 1 or Nightmare 3, right? They are not the most efficient use of your stamina at any point of time, because this is the max, right? This Animus EXP, this is the highest absolute efficiency. It doesn't matter if you're level 21, it doesn't matter if you're level 200, this will always be the highest efficiency. And you're also going to be using your stamina a little bit, especially if you want to build up new units, right? It's not like EXP is quite abundant, because technically if you farm for all of those hell runs in like your modules, they give quite a decent chunk. But if you want to build up units from scratch again, like especially at level 1 all the way up to a level 45, level 50, you will still use a ridiculous amount of these kind of stuff, especially for brand new. For example, the upcoming units, I'm guessing is going to be Ho Yan. If you don't have enough EXP, you have to farm for her again, which is going to be very long, unless you want to be the guy that pre-farms Ho Yan from level 1 all the way up for like 1 week, then sure. But yeah, me personally, I think this can't go wrong if you cannot farm Hell Mode GP. If you can farm Hell Mode GP, that is what I'm doing right now, right? So this is what I'm doing right now. I can consistently clear the most efficient stage at this point of time with my stamina, because you are gonna never get a better rate of turn, right? This is the max, and you are gonna use a lot of these inter-anima prints for all your DPS. Me personally, I just got a blue DPS Rosa, so I definitely need to crank up a lot of these GP materials for Rosa. Also, my Kraken needs a little bit more work, so farming blue here is gonna be the right choice. It also basically depends on your account, for whichever one of these domains that you can combine your highest efficiency, and B, you are building for units that you are going to see play a lot. So for example, I know for a fact I've been using this guy everywhere in PvP and PvE. I think he's super W. I think people probably didn't... Okay, I feel like people know how strong he is, right? Even though he got a little bit of a nerf, right? He got nerfed a little bit, but I think he's still giga strong. So me personally, I think he's definitely worth the race. And if you're going to be, for example, building up a green DPS, like a real Mocha, right? You're building up real Mocha for Doki Doki, you want to farm real Mocha, then if you can consistently clear GP Hell Tree for the green stage, then feel free to do so, because as long as they're efficient, right, you want to build up your tracers, then that would be the way to go, right? So this brings us back into module drop. Nightmare Tree would be the next cap right before level 35. So level 35 is the most important level for your account, because this is where you will get unlocked a lot of new things, right? So level 35 unlocks your hell modes, as well as the most important shell drop for a very long time, Nico Nana. Specifically the White Fang for almost every single... You can think of this as like... It's like 4 of an Aeon for Honkai Starbucks. They're the best in stock Destruction, except that Destruction is like every single DPS in the world. Almost every single DPS. Or you can think of this as like the Dance for supports, except for DPS, right? So very versatile. And the next clear after Nico Nana, it's good, but DPS shells should place a higher priority, because your DPS will be the end all be all, right? They are the one that carries you through your PvE, and you need your PvE to carry you through your PvP. So I think dumping a significant portion of Nico Nana here is going to be worth it, right? After Nico Nana, then I would go ahead and consider going back to your Terramatons, going back to your Doki Doki, because even if you can get the units, right? Let's just say you have real Mocha, right? I don't think it's gonna be that easy for you to even clear Hell 3 or even Hell 4. I'm not sure if... Okay, even Hell 4 unlocks it, right? I don't think it's gonna be possible for you to clear it, even if you have the unit, because you see... Oh, wow, it's possible. They have a B button. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, you can see it. So even for all these other Hell 4, the fastest Hell 4 clears in the world, they also went ahead and got their raid shells, right? They got a couple of their raid shells. I guess only one raid shell with like a ridiculously strong set of DPS. So me personally, I don't like to over invest in Matrix, like these kind of relics. That's me personally, because you don't get as much refund. Because this is not your end game Matrix, by the way, because these are only 2 slaughters, right? You can see the maze over here. There's only 2 numbers over here. You want to ideally, the actual end game is gonna look something like this, where it has a 3 slaughter. And the thing with Matrix is, if you were to over-invest in them, 100%, all these plus 15s, they are going to the trash. You are never going to use them in endgame, because you want to build up a perfect 12 piece into 8 piece. That is the ideal scenario where you have like maxed out shells, maxed out Matrix, and maxed out everything. So I wouldn't over-invest in relics just to farm more relics. I would instead go for more shells, which is going to be Nico Nana. And then after your Nico Nana has been established enough, then you can consider going back into a little bit more of the threshold domain, right? So that is pretty much the majority of where your stamina should be spent. And after level 35, that's where I will be spending my stamina. Outside of this, okay, real quick, this event ends in 2 days and 19 hours. Note, if you have not done it yet, but you can hit level 35 today, don't do it, because you actually unlock nightmare difficulty for this mode at level 35. So I will highly advise players to just wait a little bit more, because if you max refresh today, you are almost certainly getting level 35 for this job. And the way this event works is that you can get some pretty crazy drops. You can see there's 500 Hydra crystals. You can't really see the rest over here, but you can get you can also get like perfect lettuce. You can get pools. So it's a super W event. So I will highly recommend waiting for the Nightmare mode. I'm not too sure if it's gonna be very difficult, but the way it works is you want to combine the shells as high of a level as possible, as you can see over here, and slamming all the upgrades to one guy, right? Make one guy super high, because then you have a potential chance to land yourself one of these boxes over here. Unfortunately for me, my luck is just complete fucking garbage, so I only got this, but that is how you would do this event. Make one guy with the good drops over the Hydra crystals, the perfect ladders, the pools. Make that as high as possible, and then that's how you would slam this Akuru drop. But to be fair, this thing is gonna be going away in 3 days, so we'll just see how the next event is gonna be like. Amber Track, Any-Sync Echo, Phantom Theater, all these are non-stamina events, which is you can kind of just do them at any point of time whenever you're free. So I will always do these like towards the end of my day, right? So that's my day. That's how I would spend my stamina, or I play Etheria Restart. I will always do max refresh for my stamina first, and towards the end of the day, before I go to sleep, then I will do my Amber Track, I'll do anything, I'll do Phantom, because that's technically the strongest you will ever be for that specific point of time, because that's where you have dumped every single one of stamina, so your account will never be as strong as it is at that point, and then you can just do all of these one-time clears. Hopefully you can clear these. These gamble boxes, honestly, it gives some really good stuff. Okay, you can't really see it at this point, but you can get a Raid Lettuce over here. Not Raid Lettuce, the Raid Shadow. You can actually get yourself a Raid Shadow print from the upgraded drops, and you could even get 2 if you roll a double into a Raid Shadow print. So a very decent chunk of income, especially if you're going to be looking to build some 6 stars, which is going to be where I'm talking about the next part, which is your team building. Your team building of like how your account should look like right now after playing for 5 days as a complete free-to-play. Right? You should be having at least 3 6 stars. If you do not have 3 6 stars, you probably built a little bit too many other 5 stars. You can see in my account, I've realistically only built 6 units ever. Yep, I only built 6 units in my entire account. Marvel, Kraken, Lillian, Heinrich, Grey, and Freya. Everyone else, I basically left them completely untouched. Because vertical investment, oh my god, HSR PTSD. Vertical investment in this game, especially in the early game, it is to get mainly your main DPS and units that you're going to be using all the time. Getting them to 6 star will make it infinitely easier compared to running multiple 5 stars of like mid-tier quality, right? This might differ, for example, if you have like a reload mocha, right? If you have a reload mocha, I would say it's going to be easier to use a 5-star reload mocha over a 6-star Lian, for example, because some units, they are like specialists, which is like super good at that particular domain. So if you're having issues with that domain, you could consider it. So for example, another example, right? Kazuya the Reverie. She is really good for Doki as well. So you could honestly just give her like a little bit more EXP. If you're really just super strong in Doki, she's gonna make your life a lot easier. So some of these specialist units, you could consider raising them, but I would refrain from using these, right? These lettuces, right? The lettuce, the purple, the gold, the everything. All these, they are the most limited resource in the entire game. So even when you raise up your units, right? Ideally, I would never really want to touch them unless I know with 100% certainty I'm gonna using them for like in the next couple of months, right? That's where you're gonna be in a new event. So the units that I maxed out on my lettuce, first guy, great. I don't give a damn what you guys say. I break my account, I didn't break my account. He has been an absolute godsend. And in terms of like the lettuce investment, right? The reason why I maxed out Gray's lettuce is because the very final lettuce is a reduced cooldown for both skill 3 and skill 2. Which means that a maxed out Gray has only a 1 turn downtime from slamming on a crit rate into ultimate. Which is like cycles extremely quickly. And for me, my account at least, I do not have a green DPS. I straight up have no other green DPS. I'm not going to be putting for Vero Mocha. I've been talking about another video. And maybe when Ho Yan comes out, I will invest in her a little bit more. But for now, Gray has been putting in God's work for me for like the longest time possible. And I'm going to be using him in Terramaton. I've been using him in Doki Doki. I've been using him in my farming for GP. I've been using him in PvP. So because out of fact, at least for my account, I use him a lot. I think it's going to be worth it. So that's going to be that. Another unit that I maxed out that I low-key a little bit regret is actually Sunday's S5. Although this S5 is absolutely busted, right? PvE use-wise, superb. You're going to use him everywhere in PvE. He's just that guy. He's basically the 6-star unit of this game. But my problem is because I'm a little bit PvP coded, I just don't ever get to play him. Because he's either first pick or first ban. And the moment you reach Diamond Elo on RTA, there will be a pre-ban into a ban protection. So, majority of the time, Marvel is probably never seeing play in PvP. And since I am this PvP coded, I could have used my Purple Lettuce into Kraken. I really want to slam all in for my Kraken. For my S3, S2, S1 for the speed buff. I think the speed is going to be quite good for racing. I'm not too sure if I need S2. I will ask Sarah, the rank 1 Kraken Master, but that is gonna be essentially all of my Purple Lettuces, mainly on Grey, Kraken, as well as Marvel, right? Then for my SSRs, I've actually been holding them extensively. I still have not used a single one of these super long, aside from the requirements that I need for Lian, right? So I upgraded the ultimate a little bit, the turn meter. This is a little bit of a break because I was going for like the attack buff. So I think this is like my biggest regret. I could have just went for the S2 instead, but it is what it is. Everything else, I have just been chilling and I've just been saving. I've not invested in anything else. And I think even though I've been holding this amount of resources, I've still been pretty much able to clear every single one of the PvE content as of this point, the highest difficulty, right? Nightmare 3. Alright, I've not really paid attention, but maybe if I want to do it, I'm pretty sure I could. Clear all of the green pursuits, clear, I think, Antisync Echo. This is a very hard war from what I've been getting. Borgne, you can't crit against this guy. So until people get their Ling Law by day 7, I think this boss is going to be a very big war. So I'm not too factored by it. And then the rest of the stuff is just going to be PvP, right? I've been grinding quite a bit of time in PvP extensively on stream and off stream. I think this game is very fun. Although I'm just going to be super transparent. This is not a sponsor, by the way. If you are going into PvP right now, day 5, as a free-to-play, just prepare to get ass fucked, right? Get fucked sideways. It's good. It's not looking good there, right? It will be lucky if you have more than a 50% win rate, because the amount of people that have like ML5s, Marvels, 200 speed, 230 speed claws, all the PvP units build up, you know, it's everywhere, especially the higher and higher you go. This is the standard case for any PvP games, especially at the launch of a PvP game, where all of the free-to-plays, they're like lump the whales. So if you want to play PvP right now, it is quite rough. It is genuinely quite rough, but I'm still trying to use this opportunity to like learn the matchups, learn the drafts, and whenever I get a W as a complete free-to-play, I feel good, because hey, as a free-to-play, I won this level 37 guy. Oh my god, I won this guy with like Mio, Heinrich, and Lily, right? It feels good. And even if I lose, I have said it before, it's like, okay, it's whatever, right? I'm free-to-play. One. So that is pretty much my progression guide and how I have been playing this game and how I've been spending my stamina all the way up through level 34, going into level 35 by the time I end off this video. I'm now going to hop on to Zenless Zone 0. We have a lot of things to do in the channel because I'm wholly overworking. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below and how you guys are finding Etheria restart so far. Word of the day is going to be Bird. Join Twitch, join Discord, join Twitter, join K. Use code Pokke, right? Use code Pokke for 10% off all gamer subs. All the best while gacha pools. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. I'm still playing Epic 7, guys.